9452 and 1-866-6775.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We're a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. But before we get into our intriguing content today, please join me in welcoming our featured guest and repeat offender, Kathleen Garito, KG Interior Designs, is in the house. Welcome.
Hey, good morning, Ron.
Glad to have you with us. Let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you, and you can reach out to me directly. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are no operators standing by. I am it.
Quiet, numbskulls. I'm broadcasting.
Well, I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan to save you money. I personally work with you. Even if you don't have any needs today, save this number in your phone for future reference, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And of course, we celebrate every day on Ron Siegel Radio. Sometimes the celebrations are a little bit more intriguing than other times. Well, today I look at one of them and I say, okay, it is National Lipstick Day. I don't know how to celebrate that one, so we'll just give that the buzzer there. But the other two, having beaten anorexia, they are both geared for me. National Chicken Wing Day. I like that one, as long as they're mild. I don't do the spicy ones. That's not my style. But on the other side, my favorite, I always, I don't know why I go to this one all the time, but yeah, today is National Lasagna Day. So give us a chat, send us a message. Where do you get the best lasagna? I'm going to throw mine in there so far. I guess I better not say anybody's name of people who make it, but Da Bianca here in Orange, they make a real good lasagna. So I'll just throw that out there. And if you're looking for lasagna, go check them out, see what they have to say. I am a lasagna connoisseur. I check it out wherever I go. Hey, talking about checking it out, let's see what's going on in the markets today. The Dow Jones Industrial Average, it is up 69 points. It jumps as I speak to you. The S&P 500 up 24. The NASDAQ seems like it always goes up. Had somebody the other day that sent me a message and said, Ron, you can't say that the NASDAQ always goes up. You can't say that on public radio. Well, I say it tongue-in-cheek all the time. I always follow it up, or it seems like it goes up all the time. Even when the days where I share that it's down, I tell you that it seems like it's going up all the time. It's up 90 points right now. Unbelievable. Oil, why is oil up? I'm trying to figure that one out. We'll have to do some research and see, why is oil up? I don't get it, being that we've got a big build on oil again. So when we get a big build, that means there is more supply than there is demand, yet oil is still up. So I'm just curious as to why the stock would be, or the cost would be going up. I understand it in Calizuela. I get why it's going up in Calizuela, right? Because we tax everything here, so we like taxes. I know that we like taxes because if we didn't like taxes as much as people say they don't like it, we wouldn't keep voting in the same people over and over again to keep taxing us more and more. So we'll watch that one, see where it goes. Let's take a look at the gas prices. Yeah, the national average of a gallon of gasoline, $2.18.8. In Calizuela, $3.17. Yeah, we're about $1 a gallon more than the national average. We are just about the same price as the oil-producing state of Hawaii. And if you want the cheapest gas in the land, you got to go to Mississippi. I don't know why you want to go to Mississippi. I shouldn't say that. $1.83.6 is the price of gasoline in Mississippi. And let's take a look at the 10-year Treasury. It's at 0.578. Not good news for our seniors, but if you're thinking about buying a house, interest rates have gone down again today. I'm going to tell you, though, I'm going to be watching closely at 11 o'clock our time today, because it seems lately that anytime we get these announcements from the Federal Reserve, and we know that the Federal Reserve is not going to change rates today, but when we do get these announcements, for some reason, the chairman kind of shoots himself in the foot. I guess that's part of Washington, but he does tend to shoot himself in the foot, and we end up, even though he's doing everything he possibly can to keep rates low, his commentary seems to spook the market each time, and it does the exact opposite. So that's what we're watching right now. Speaking of watching, it's going to be fascinating to watch, and I will be watching and reporting to you tomorrow. The CEOs of Amazon, Apple, Google, and Facebook all testifying in front of Congress. I wonder if, who was it last time? It was Google's chairman that decided he was going to be a no-show, and they just left an empty chair there for him. See what they do this time. But now they're talking about something a little bit different, because look at $5 trillion in market cap just in those companies. $5 trillion. Are you old enough to remember the original AT&T? Right? Not the AT&T that we have today that was really Comcast, that was the bankrupt and they bought the name AT&T, but the original AT&T, the telephone company. Yeah, they got to be a little bit too big, and the federal government came in and said, you know something, we're going to split you up. You are not allowed to continue buying all these companies, controlling the entire phone services system. You are a monopoly. Well, if you start looking at these companies, the size of them, Amazon, Apple, Google, Facebook, obviously Facebook owning WhatsApp and Instagram, are they a monopoly? Well, we're going to find out what the Congress thinks. Now, you can guess this one. Congress will do nothing. That's what they always do. Speaking of always doing nothing, did you watch yesterday the clown show? We had the circus in the House of Representatives led by the chief clown, Jerry Nadler. Now, of all things, Nadler gets in a car accident on the way to the hearing yesterday, and they have to delay the hearing for an hour. Okay, I get it. Things happen. I don't know. Maybe Nadler couldn't figure out how to drive his car. Maybe he needed a driver. Maybe his driver got in the accident. I don't know. I don't follow that stuff. I'm glad that he appears like he wasn't hurt. He does have brain damage, my opinion. But that's a different issue. That didn't come from the car accident yesterday. But he's got the Attorney General of the United States there for the photo op. They call it a hearing, but it couldn't have been a hearing because they wouldn't let him speak. I don't know why they needed him there other than for a photo op, but they get toward the end of the event, and, you know, sitting there for that many hours, the Attorney General probably needed to take care of a little personal business, you know what I mean? So he says, can we get a 5-minute break? And Nadler says, no. No! I mean, the guy's sitting there for hours with the lunatics from the left all bashing him and not letting him speak. This is a yes-no question. Have you ever heard of a congressperson or a politician answering anything with yes or no? And then they give you a 20-minute dissertation, and they say, under penalty of perjury, is that correct? Well, do you think that a man as smart as the Attorney General is just going to give you a yes-no that you're going to be able to use in a soundbite down the road? I don't think so. But then you get to the end, and the guy needs to go and use the facilities probably, and the chairman says, no, you can't. I can't believe how the guy sat there as long as he did. I mean, what patience he must have had to just sit there with those clowns as long as he sat there. I got to admit that if it was me and you're just sitting there for a photo op, you could have put a cardboard cutout there for as much as they let the man speak. They didn't want to hear anything of what he had to say. Just throw that out there for you. Moving right along, yes, we are going to get a Fed interest rate decision today. They're not going to say anything. They're not going to change the rates at all. But it is what the outlook as what's going to could move the market, what has moved the market in the past. Speaking of what's going on as well, hey, how about this one? Did you look at the stock? I mean, I follow the stock market, Now, some of you that are listening to us, especially on the social channels, are not as old as I am. But way back, there was this big company that many people knew of. It was called Eastman Kodak. Now, I know you're not going to remember. They made film. They made camera. I know film. They put that in a camera. That's not like you use an iPhone now. But the company became obsolete, right? And 3 days ago, the stock was trading at $2.36 a share. Well, now they're going to take obviously, those, or not obviously, many people don't understand this, that when you are developing film, it takes chemicals, or it took chemicals to develop film. Well, Eastman Kodak was a major player in that arena, and they knew how to mix chemicals. So one way or another, they get in touch with the White House, and now they're going to start trying to bring back some of the manufacturing of drugs from China to the United States. And if you look today, that $2.36 stock is now selling, as of this minute, $31.73. $31.73. If you bought it on Monday, you'd be doing pretty well if you bought a lot of it. I'm not saying buy it. I'm not saying don't buy it. I'm just saying it's amazing when you watch what's gone on with this stock in just a short period with the announcement of getting this contract from the federal government. Just throw that out there for you. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, home ownership rate continues to rise. Top 10 questions about FICO resilience, and something I know absolutely nothing about, home design. But Kathleen Garito is here with us. She knows all about it and going to share with us. I know for several years she's been coming on the broadcast. No fault of hers. I still know nothing. Right? It's just the way it is. But at least I know one thing. I can call Kathleen and get the answers to whatever we need. So we're going to learn a little bit about what's the current trends are in home design and getting your house ready to sell, all that and more. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. On Twitter, @Ron Siegel. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams, or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Did you know that banks and credit bureaus are rewarded financially if you have bad credit? And the worse your credit score is, the more money they can make off of you? How does that make you feel, knowing that banks are getting rich off of your hard-earned money? How does it make you feel, knowing that if a bank or a credit bureau makes a mistake on your credit report, they benefit from it and it hurts you? The Fair Credit Report Act of 1971 requires banks and credit bureaus to report only accurate information, and nearly 100% of all credit reports are inaccurate. If you're sick and tired of being broke and tired of being robbed by the banks, you owe it to yourself and to your family to call Rondi. Rondi is a FICO certified credit professional and has helped thousands of people just like you get out of debt and establish great credit. Rondi's number is 855-608-1990. Again, that's 855-608-1990. Or visit creditsanitizer.com. Again, that website is creditsanitizer.com.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel Lending Team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel Lending Team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and DRE number 018694552.
Are you a veteran, police officer, firefighter, doctor, nurse, or teacher? If so, you qualify as one of Ron Siegel's VIP heroes, and we have rewards up to $5,000 or $10,000 when you buy, sell, or refinance a home with one of the Ron Siegel radio partners. As one of the heroes, real estate agents will rebate part of their commission, lending partners will give a credit at closing, the title company has special published rates, and many other service providers have incentives too. All you need to do is call Ron Siegel Radio at 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit VIPHeroProgram.com. Just think about what you will do with all the rebates and incentives from the partners of Ron Siegel Radio. Just call us at 800-306-1990 so we can show you our appreciation for your service.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends at Gold Star Mortgage. When you're ready for that next mortgage, Gold Star, they've got the programs and the products. You got the phone, call them. Dow Jones Industrial Average now up 88 points. The NASDAQ up 98 points. The S&P 500 up 25 and a fraction. 10-year Treasury is unchanged. Mortgage-backed securities are up 13 basis points. No meaning to anybody out there. That just tells us that the rates are down ever so slightly. The issue becomes, why? Well, here it is. The Fed and the CEOs of Facebook, Amazon, Apple, and Google will be in the hot seat today. The aforementioned CEOs will be testifying before U.S. lawmakers in a hearing regarding antitrust issues and whether the companies have unfairly harmed consumers and competitors. These companies combined are worth over $5 trillion. If we measure GDP of those five companies, it would be the fourth largest GDP in the world behind the U.S. and China. It would also be the fourth largest stock exchange in the world. Amazing how big those guys are. Fed concludes their two-day meeting today. We'll be getting their statement around 11 o'clock our time here in Southern California, followed by a press conference from the Fed chairman. That'll be at 11:30. So we'll be listening to that. We'll be watching to see what it does on bond purchases and the purchases of mortgage-backed securities. The Mortgage Bankers Association released their mortgage application data for last week, showing that overall application volume fell by 0.8% from the previous week. Purchases were down 2%, and that's what got our friend Diana Olick, got her hair on fire. Obviously, if you listen to Diana Olick, and I recommend you do not, you're going to get all kinds of bad information. She's on CNBC. I don't know why they put her on CNBC, but she is on CNBC. She is one of their commentators. She's the one out there giving you the poor information, not telling you what's really going on in the marketplace. But as long as you're here, you're going to get the real story, because the numbers came out, and even though the purchases were down 2% on a year-over-year basis, they are now 21% higher. Now, think about everything that's gone on in the first 6 months of this year and everything that went on in the first 6 months or 7 months of last year. I guess now that we're at the end of July, we're talking about 7 months. Think about everything that went on, and we're 21% higher than this year, last year, this time. And we're still talking about people, there's no inventory available. Refinances decreased by 0.4% last week, but are still up 121% year over year. Refinances made up 65.1% of all transactions, up from 64.8% last week. And again, all this report was pretty flat. Volumes are at high levels. The media did their best to spin a negative picture. Here's the headline from CNBC's Diana Olick. Lower weekly mortgage demand hints at a possible pullback by first-time home buyers. Obviously, Diana Olick has been quarantined because she's not talking to anybody in the industry who understands that first-time home buyers are out there in force right now. FHA refinances fell 18%, and purchases also fell greater than 2% overall. And because FHA loans require less of a down payment, you could argue that a greater portion of first-time home buyers choose FHA. FHA purchases also fell, but let's remember that overall purchase volume was only down 2%. Here's another issue that no one wants to tell you about. Why are FHA refinances down? Because property values are increasing and people can go into a different loan and they don't need the high cost of the FHA loan. afterward, when they refinance. Pending home sales, which measures signed contracts in existing homes, up 16.6% in June after rising 44.3% in May. Year-over-year sales are up 6.3% after being down 5.1% year-over-year in the previous report. We've got that on the screen for you. And a report by the Census Bureau showed that U.S. homeownership rate increased from 65.3% to 67.9% in the second quarter, almost a 12-year high. So you're telling me that people don't want houses when we're at a home ownership rate that's at a 12-year high? Think about this, people. Speaking of thinking about it, people, that's the Mortgage Minute brought to you by our friends at Gold Star Mortgage. And let's chat a little bit about these properties that are selling. We're talking this morning. Kathleen Garito is in the studio with us. And I actually, because of my own simpleness, I actually put the name of her company right there. It's crawling along the bottom of the screen. So those of you watching us, KG Interior Design, Inc. Got to make sure we get the whole. Good morning.
Good morning.
So tell me a little bit about what's going on. Let's get this mic. I don't know if Sean will call me and tell me they can't hear you. So I don't want to get in trouble.
Okay.
So what's going? Yeah, that's good. What's going on in the design world?
In the design world, with everybody working out of home, a lot of people have found out they're going to be working till the end of the year, till maybe even 2021.
Yeah, Google said July 2021. There, people can stay home.
I heard that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It is.
But you know something? I can understand how I need seclusion. My family does not want me to be right in the middle of the dining room anymore.
It's awful. It's hard, when you're trying to work and do Zoom calls and the kids are running back and forth.
Right.
Clients right now are just trying to figure it out. The card table is not working in the middle of the living room. And where can we either they're selling because they need bigger homes, or they're reconfiguring their home so that they can all home office. I have friends that both husband and wife work out of the house and they have the kids. So where do they go? They can't work in the same office and take Zoom calls. Right. So it's, okay, do you use the garage? Like, what can we do? Can the kids play there while we open up another room so they can create a home office? So we're doing a lot of refurnishing, restructuring homes. And again, a lot of people are stepping up and moving up because they need more square footage to be able to function the right way.
Is everybody putting in opaque tables so they can wear shorts or whatever and not have to be fully real formal?
I've met so many clients like that, with the tie and the nice shirt and then the casual shorts and the Vans.
Yeah. That makes sense, right? I mean, if I could wear shorts every day, I would. I do most days.
For sure.
Right? Because, I mean, we're on Zoom. I don't have my green screen behind me today, but frequently I've got a green screen behind me so no one can see what's going on behind me. And, you've got an opaque table so no one knows what's going on below.
Right.
So,
yeah.
So how are you breaking up rooms? I mean, if I took a bedroom, I mean, I can't make 3 bedrooms into my house offices. There's 3 of us that work out of the house. How do you break up a room so that we've got privacy, not really privacy, but at least quiet for the calls?
I think when we first got shut down, it was kind of like, let's scramble and throw stuff up and just make it function. Now that it looks like a little more longer term for some are going back to the office, some are not. Now it's kind of, let's look at the master bedroom where is the only option where I can work. Let's get rid of the fold up table. Let's purchase a desk. Let's figure out how to reconfigure some furniture. Let's make sure I can get my printer up here so that I can function. I don't have to go to another room to print things up, so that you can actually stay in that one space and feel comfortable and not have interruptions with the kids coming in up on the Zoom calls.
Yeah, I've noticed some very interesting, especially when you watch. I usually have one of the business channels up on the TV while I'm working. It's just background noise, and it's funny how many times you see the dog coming through the video or kids coming through.
Oh, totally. When I'm on a Zoom call, I have the cat hour. It's like all of a sudden they got to get on the Zoom call with me. So it's just kind of separating that, so that again, it's all about productivity too. If I'm working on a card table, I don't have the things that I need to function every day.
Sure,
I'm not productive. And
it's a pain in the neck to tear it down to make it into a house again at the end of the day.
Right, exactly. So it's just like I'm meeting with a lot of clients now with furnishing and just looking at different ways to function throughout their home so that they can work and be efficient.
What are you hearing? Is that going to be the new norm long term? I mean, I'm wondering whether people are going to ever go back to offices.
I don't know. You know, I have a lot of friends and clients that work in very big open spaces.
Right.
Some just remodeled home offices, some of their workspaces, and now they can't go back to them. So I think we just have to kind of rethink how we enclose those a little bit more so that we can get people back. But I don't know. Corporate looks like, you know, they're shut down till the end of the year and they're not returning back.
Well, I'm wondering if the corporate, that big corporate office is going to ever come back. And I know that's not your part of the world. It's not mine either, but I just throw it out there. Is, you know, you have these offices where you had, you know, 100, 200 people and they're paying $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 a month in rent. Yeah. How much of a diminished productivity can you handle for $50,000 or $60,000 or $70,000 a month that is a rent expense? And I'm just saying from a business owner standpoint, you know, something I don't mind if my people don't get as much done if I'm not having to put that overhead in there. We're going to talk more with Kathleen Garito when we come back. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. Homeownership rates continue to rise. Top 10 questions about FICO resilience, all that and more. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter @Ron Siegel, and if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1, Ron Siegel the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We will be back in just a few.
Lending team offers you buying power. Let's say you can afford a monthly mortgage payment, including principal and interest, of around $1,900. With today's rate on a 30-year fixed mortgage of 3.75%, APR 3.85%, that payment could support a $416,000 mortgage. But if you wait and rates tick up to around 6.5%, which is roughly the average home mortgage rate over the past 30 years, that same $1,900 mortgage payment, including principal and interest, may only be able to support a $314,000 mortgage. That's over $100,000 worth of home you're missing out on by waiting. That's buying power. All you need to do to get started is reach out to the Siegel Lending Team at 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Payment example excludes taxes and insurance. Call us for full details, 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990 or SiegelLendingTeam.com. Equal housing lender, licensed under NMLS number 217037.
Are you purchasing or own a luxury home? If you're like so many others, your home is your largest asset and the mortgage is your largest debt. The Siegel Lending Team has some amazing financing opportunities right now. Jumbo loans up to $2 million, 30-year rates below 4%, 15-year rates near 3.5%, and if you can believe it, 7-year interest-only hybrids in low 3s. The Siegel Lending Team has all the options for your jumbo or second home loan requirements. Take advantage of them while you can. To learn more about all the other financing products available from the Siegel Lending Team, call 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Again, call 1-800-306-1990. Rates subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037 and 145502. Equal housing lender.
Homeowners that are 62 and older are about to find out a great way to live a better retirement. It's called a reverse mortgage, and SLT can help you learn more. Call the Siegel Lending Team at 800-306-1990 right now to receive your free booklet with no obligation. It answers questions like how a reverse mortgage works, how much you qualify for, the ways to receive your money, and more. When you call the experts at Siegel Lending Team today, you'll learn the benefits of a government-insured reverse mortgage, how it will eliminate your monthly mortgage payments, and give you tax-free cash from the equity in your home. Here's the best part. You still own your home. Now is the best time to take control of your retirement. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990 to get your free brochure. Call today or visit our website at SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com, or simply call 800-306-1990.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Text SLT Home Digest, SLT Home Digest, to 79564, SLT Home Digest. You'll find out exactly what the county recorder knows about your property, exactly what the marketplace believes about your property. And as a service of Ron Siegel Radio, it is one of my favorite words. It's totally free to you. I guess I should put us back up on the screen instead of the pictures go, oh, we are back on the screen. What do you know? We're live. Again, SLT Home Digest. You're going to text that one to 79564. I want to get you I'm working on getting a couple of real quick graphs for you right here, because I always like to share the pictures with you of what's going on, because we're talking about home ownership rates today. And home ownership is an amazing number of what's going on in the marketplace. And a lot of folks don't want to believe this, because all we hear from the media, and I had a great conversation with Greg Raths about this yesterday. If you missed that discussion, go back and check it out on RonSiegelRadio.com. You can check out the radio archives where we put all of our prior broadcasts. But Greg had some great information and what's going on in our world right now. And we had a conversation about anything that is good. Can you ever get a good news story out there? Well, home ownership rates, I'm going to suggest to you, that is a good news story. Let me see if I can put us back on the screen, because, I like to have my face on the screen every once in a while. Most people don't want to see me on the screen. I've got a face for radio. But there it is. Okay, so quiet a ride. Nation has truly seen its fair share of hurdles, from COVID-19 to record unemployment and then the resulting recession. Just to name a few, the second quarter of 2020 has had more than a few challenges amidst the many roadblocks. However, the U.S. home ownership rate rose again, signaling great strength in the recovery of the housing market, and an indication that even in a time of crisis, Americans still feel confident about buying a home. Yesterday, the U.S. Census Bureau announced, I quote, the home ownership rate of 67.9% was 3.8 percentage points higher than the rate in the second quarter 2019 and 2.6 percentage points higher than the rate in the first quarter of 2020. So we've got that chart up there for you right now if you're watching home on RonSiegelRadio.com. 67.9%, big increase. The increase also represented by race and ethnicity of the householder. Shows some interesting numbers. Home ownership rates by race and ethnicity of the household owner. I'm not going to read all of these to you, but again, we've got that showing right there on the screen for you. Every single demographic, every single race is showing a larger home ownership rate than it did in the prior quarter, going up. Many reasons why the home ownership rate in this country is rising, and one of the key factors is historically low mortgage rates. Rates are hovering at all-time lows, are helping to drive affordability, enabling more potential homeowners to enter the market, according to Ralph McLaughlin, chief economist for House. I'm not going to get to the whole report. I put it all right there on our socials. Again, if you're thinking of buying a home this year, let's connect today to take your dream one step closer. That is the real-time real estate segment, again, brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Text SLT Home Digest to 79564. Find your dream home before someone else does. Speaking of your dream home, in order for you to buy that dream home, there's only one of two ways that you're going to get that dream home. Either you're going to go to a builder or you're going to buy an existing home. Either way, you need to make sure that you're furnishing it properly and budgeting for that. But if you own a home, builder or reseller, we want to talk to you a little bit about that. Kathleen Garito is with us, educating us on some of the idiosyncrasies of what happens when you prepare your property properly. And think about this one. Not Amazon. You can't go by Amazon, but you can go by Walmart, you can go by JCPenney, you can go by Target, you can go by Apple. Right? Everything is packaged perfectly. Right? Apple makes they take the same product. My son just got a pair of AirPods or the knockoff. And I think he paid $80 for them. And, me, I've got to have the Apple version, and I paid $250 for them. What's the difference? They both put music into my head. But when you think about the packaging of that Apple product, they've always said it's about the experience of opening it. Mm-hmm. And, what's the difference when you talk about that $200 AirPod or the $1 million house? It's packaging.
Totally.
Right?
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
And people don't think about that part, but that's your specialty, is packaging.
Yep.
So tell us a little bit about that. What are some of the from both sides? Right now, obviously the sellers are in the driver's seat. Properties priced properly are selling quickly. Mm-hmm. So do I really need to package it properly?
I've always been an advocate saying yes, because how high can we drive that price? Because if it's packaged properly, people are going to fall in love with it, and we'll create a nice little bidding war, right? And they'll probably get above asking price, which is typically what happens with ours, because it's packaged beautifully. I don't believe in putting something out there that is not packaged with, it has to have my name on it, has to look beautiful, and I want my clients to get top dollar. That's why it's so critical to, even before doing staging, is cosmetically, let's see what we can put in this house to kind of change it, whether it's spray painting, cabinetry, adding a different countertop, not remodeling, but just putting some little things in there that are going to give you a big bang for your buck and get that huge return for you. I never want clients to dump $300,000 into remodeling and then put it on the market. That's silly. I want them to spend 5 to 10, maybe on some flooring, just make it look fresh and beautiful so that they get that top dollar. And then when it's presented well with furniture and laid out properly, that's where they get multiple offers and top dollar.
So do you think about $5,000 to $10,000 of a investment in the packaging? Mm-hmm. Just from the, if you can avoid the cost of repairs alone, mm-hmm. right? That could give you the returns. I'm a numbers guy, so I'm always looking, okay, what is my return on investment for this packaging process? Right. And I think everybody has to really be doing that. And I'm sure that you're sharing that with people also, is do this because it's going to get you a 1x or 2x or whatever return. Don't do this because it doesn't get you a return.
Correct. And if there's any repairs that are pretty severe, do them now before they show up on the inspection, where then that becomes a whole other issue. Get all that stuff done ahead of time so that, the house is in great shape and there's no second guessing the purchase, so to speak, from the buyer's side.
So you can have our friends, call our friends over at Hammond Inspections. They can come out and do a home inspection for you before you list. Right.
Which is great.
And
yes.
Get that done. And that way, what you're working with, and you're not going to go through and have a wall painted only to find out that you've got to break it up and then repaint it again.
Correct. Absolutely. I think that is so smart, because then up front what you're dealing with.
Sure. Makes a lot of sense. So give us a couple of items that you find that give us the best return on investment in the packaging process.
The biggest thing for me is I always look at the flooring piece of it.
Okay.
And then I always look at the cabinetry. If it's dated, if it's oak, or if it's super dark, it's something that's not in trend. Just by spraying those nicely and adding a quartz countertop and a nice little backsplash for minimal cost will get you the biggest bang for your buck. My passion is to get in there before it gets ready to go on the market, so I can give the recommendations, spec out what needs to be done at a cost-effective price.
Sure.
And then come in once it's done and stage it, because those are the ones that are getting top dollar.
Interesting. So you're actually saying that call you before you even get it listed.
Correct. Yes.
Right. I know we would certainly want to talk to you before we did the pictures, mm-hmm. right? Because we don't want to put up pictures that are garbage.
Right. But have me come in and consult to see what you should do before you get it on the market. It's like when I take on clients for new design projects, I'm always like, is it a 5-year plan that you're going to live here, or is it a 15-year plan? Because then, like, I have a client right now who's moving in 3 years. She's retiring. So we're doing her master bath. And I just said to her, let's do it as if it was real estate. So we're spraying the cabinets, we're redoing the whole shower area, and we're doing some nice flooring. But that master bathroom is going to look great when she puts it for sale in 3 years.
What are the areas that are the most important parts of the house that for the consumer? What are they looking at most?
I think, sometimes it's the outside, but it's the main living areas and the master, I think, are the
Okay.
keys of what we have to focus on to make sure they look great.
Okay, yeah, and I didn't know, that's not my world. I've shared that many times. I know nothing. I don't even get a vote in my own house, right? So I figured that if someone would have asked me before, I would have said the kitchen and the living room, or the family room, because
Yeah.
no one goes in the living room.
And the master's key too.
Okay.
In Southern California, think about California in general with pricing, people don't want to have to spend another $200,000-$300,000 if they're already spending top dollar for the home. So if it looks great, that's again where the buyers are coming in making multiple offers.
And think about this: if you're a consumer, if they've gone and done this work ahead of time, and you have that built into your purchase price, you can go a little bit higher on your purchase price as long as it's going to appraise, and you're going to be able. That's the only way you're going to really build that into your financing. If you go and buy a house and do this work after the fact, that you're going to do anyway. But if you go and do that after the fact, then it's going to be a cash expense. You're not going to be able to finance it unless you go to a credit card or something like that, where it's going to be a lot more money. So it'll save you money in the long run by making sure that when the sellers have done that. So look for that property that's already got these amenities. And what's the difference? You mentioned spraying. I don't know what that means.
Well, just when you don't hand paint cabinets, because then you have the brush mark. So It's better if they spray it so it just looks like it's a brand new cabinet. So if they spray it and it's oak, you won't see the veins of the wood.
Gotcha.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
So they'll look like brand new cabinets.
So you're talking to someone that doesn't even know which end of a screwdriver to use. So that's why I ask the basic questions, because I am a simple guy. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. More with Kathleen Garito when we come back. And the top 10 questions about FICO Resilience Index. Do you even know what that is? Have you ever heard of the FICO Resilience Index? All that and more. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990 or ronsiegelradio.com. Connect with us, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. On Twitter, I don't even go to Twitter, but go to Parler at Ron Siegel. Same difference, but no censoring. You can reach me anytime again. Or Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
In the middle of our street.
Are you living in the home of your dreams, or simply where you think you can afford? Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Most businesses struggle to get the online reviews they need to get a competitive edge over their competition. Rex is a brand new technology that uses text messages to direct happy clients to your online review sites, Zillow, Google, Facebook, and Yelp, and unhappy clients to a private survey, so businesses can win more customers. Try Rex today by going to www.meetrex.com.
Are you currently renting a home? Do you like paying someone else's mortgage payment? Why not explore the options to purchase your own home? Can you imagine a 30-year fixed-rate loan below 4.25% APR? This means with $10,500, you can purchase a $295,000 home and have a principal and interest payment of about $1,400 per month. What are you paying in rent? Does your family deserve the opportunity to take advantage of the current market? To learn more about these exciting opportunities, the Siegel Lending Team is standing by to speak with you. Call now, 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Or 1-800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037 and 145502. Equal housing lender. Not endorsed or sponsored by any government agency.
Do you have a goal of mortgage-free home ownership? What if your home was valued at $500,000? Are you aware that a free and clear home could be costing you $2,500 every month, $30,000 per year? The mortgage planners at the Siegel Lending Team would like to show you how you can own your home, generate tax-free income, and accumulate family wealth. You simply need to call the Ron Siegel Team at 1-800-306-1990. That is 1-800-306-1990. By sending the team a copy of your most recent mortgage statement, the team will send you a no-obligation real estate plan. You be the judge if this is right for your family. Again, all you have to do is send the team a copy of your mortgage statement by email to reap@ronsiegelradio.com or call today. Ron Siegel, 1-800-306-1990. That is 1-800-306-1990.
Rate subject to change and without notice. Licensed by the California DOC and BRE NMLS 217037 and 145502 and Cal BRE 01869452 and 1866775.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Your Credit Matters segment today being brought to you by creditsanitizer.com. You have a credit report. It is wrong. What are you doing about it? Credit Sanitizer, they've got these solutions for you. Top 10 questions about the FICO Resilience Index. FICO recently announced the FICO Resilience Index. I'm going to call it FRI because it's easier to say. A tool used by lenders to help identify which borrowers will be resilient during uncertain economic times. When would we ever have something like that? What follows are some of the most commonly asked questions people have about the FICO Resilience Index. Number one, what are the characteristics of a resilient borrower? Well, the most resilient individuals, those who may be less likely to be affected in the event of an economic downturn, maybe those that tend to have a mix of different types of credit, lower balances, and a longer credit history. Fewer active accounts, and less activity searching for new credit. Consumers with an FRI in the 1 to 44 range are viewed as the most prepared to weather an economic shift. Number two, how does this help consumers? I don't know. In changing economics, the FICO Resilience Index can enable lenders to keep credit flowing to people who can be identified as more resilient FICO score bands, including potentially lower than average FICO scores. Number three, how does the FICO Resilience Index differ from the FICO score? The Resilience Index is a new analytic tool that predicts a consumer's credit risk in the event of an economic downturn. What information is used to calculate the FICO Resilience Index? Remember, we're only talking about FICO here. We are not talking about the FICO scores. Those are different. The difference between FICO and FICO Resilience Index is in how the information from your credit report is weighted in its calculation. And as a reminder, your income, employment status, race, ethnicity, and gender are not data fields in your credit report. Are my savings, investments, or net worth used to calculate the FICO Resilience Index? No. Those are not part of your credit reports. Anybody that says that you got a big bank account, so you're going to be resilient, well, FICO doesn't take into account the size of your bank account. Does the FICO Resilience Index consider coronavirus forbearance or deferment programs in its calculation? No, but there is a line on the credit report now that does tell anybody that's looking at it that has your authority whether you have applied for the coronavirus forbearance. Is a lower value better? Yes, this is not like your FICO score. The lower the better on the resilience. Was the Resilience Index created in response to the coronavirus? No, it's been out longer than that. Does the FICO Resilience Index predict future recessions? No, it doesn't know that either. How can I get my FICO Resilience Index? MyFICO.com. MyFICO.com. It has it right on there for you. Yes, you do have to pay for it, but I am a big fan of MyFICO.com, but I'm a nerd. And I watch my scores. I get updates probably 2 or 3 times a day with what's going on my FICO report. That is the Your Credit Matters segment brought to you by creditsanitizer.com. Continuing our conversation, Kathleen Garito is in the house. We are chatting about packaging. I call it packaging. Most of you are going to call it design. Some people are going to call it staging. But because of my background and the fact that I used to spend a whole lot of time dealing in merchandising, And I used to sell merchandise to the likes of Walmart and Kmart and Target and a lot of discounters, but we'd bring it in. And if you have a great package, I used to have a friend of ours that would can sell the same eyeglass repair kit. Do you know what an eyeglass repair kit is? It's the thing that has a little tiny screwdriver to screw the temples in when they start getting loose. Right? He used to sell the exact same eyeglass repair kit. He had one version that was $4.99 retail, and he had one that was a 99-cent retail. The only difference was the packaging. One had a real nice card that you could put into Rite Aid. The other one had just a plain old card that was yellow and black and white, and that went to 99-cent only. Same item though, same content, same little mini screwdrivers. Everything was the same. And the one that was $4.99 sold better. Why? Because people have the perception that higher price is better. Why is that? I don't know. I like cheap. But when it comes to marketing, you just have to do what the masses want. And the mass want great packaging.
It's branding.
Right.
You know, that's how we get a lot of our businesses. People see our portfolio, they see the website, it's all consistent. You look at our Instagram, it's all consistent. It's all about the branding and the packaging. And that's how we get our referrals.
And I'm sure it's also got to do with the fact that the quality of your work is top end.
Yes.
And I don't know whether it's top end or it's top end for the environment, right? Because that does, just because when I say top end, you're not talking that you're only dealing with the multi-million-dollar houses. You'll talk to us average folk.
Well, and we treat no house any different. So whether I stage a house at 200,000 or 20 million, they're going to have the same brand and packaging. It doesn't matter. They're going to have the same attention to detail, because that's my brand and that's a reflection.
And that's a great point, because a lot of people don't think about that part of it. Regardless of what the price of the property is, it's a reflection of you. It's a reflection of the realtor. It's a reflection of the escrow company. It's a reflection of all these different people, right? It makes a lot of sense right there that, that you have to do it right, or else just don't do it at all.
Well, and I know very successful realtors out there that if you look at anything that's on the MLS, they're always beautiful, regardless if maybe it's older furniture, whatever, but they're always pristine and beautiful. And that's how they get those referrals, because they do a great job doing all the background work before they actually list the property.
Yeah, it baffles me when I go into an open house and I see that they've got a black and white typed information sheet. In this day and age, I mean, you can't even spend the 50 cents a piece over at Staples to get a nice color sheet. You can print it out on your home printer.
Right.
But it's all about the packaging.
Right.
Right. And that's why I say that you got to we talked about this yesterday. And if you didn't catch that part of our broadcast yesterday, it's all about professional guidance. Right. And I've been the first to share that I know nothing about interior design. Right. I mean, if Kathleen asked me to do this and she would get ill. Right? Because I don't know anything about it. I don't care about it, other than the fact that I do care about the bottom line. Right? So it becomes, I would probably be your ideal client, because I'd say, here's my budget. Take it away. Right? Because you could tell me anything and I'm gonna not know I don't know my backside from my front side.
And it's about putting things together. Like, you don't have to go to high-end showrooms. You can go to Home Goods, Kohl's, you can go to any of those places, but it's about putting things together well.
So do you have all the inventory of things that you're going to bring in, or do we have to go buy new every time?
No, I have a ton of inventory.
Okay.
It flexes. So as we sell them, it comes in and then it goes right back out to another property. And we sell our stuff to our clients on the design side too.
Okay.
Because they'll come through our showroom and they just love everything in there and they end up buying stuff.
Well, that's the idea. That's kind of the idea, right? Is for them to come and buy things.
Yeah.
How do we get in touch with you?
So you can come visit us on Instagram, which is KG Inspires, or
KG Inspires. Okay,
yes,
on
we
Instagram.
Inspire all our clients.
Okay.
And then our website is www.kginteriordesign.com.
Simple stuff.
Yeah.
KG Interior, but we didn't put the ink on that one.
I know.
Right? And sometimes when we tell people what not to put, they remember what to put in the first place. Well, we're going to put the links to Kathleen's information right there on our social medias. But what is a normal, if we're looking at a median priced home, $800,000 Orange County, what should I be budgeting for staging and packaging?
For staging, I mean, if it's an owner occupied, it could be maybe a couple thousand, or if it's a vacant, we don't stage every room because I think buyers need to imagine what certain rooms would be. We primarily do the family room, the great room, the dining room, like when you first walk in, and then maybe the master if they can't figure it out. Because sometimes we have a 5,000 square foot house and we have the smallest master I've ever seen. So we have to kind of make it look a little more grander than what it would be. So it just helps the buyers.
So it's all based on that packaging. So you take out, you put a twin bed in the master bedroom and it looks like it's a big bedroom.
Yeah, and they can start at $3,500 all the way up to $18,000 or $20,000. It just depends how much clients want.
So it's not like it's an outrageous number, but the idea is the more important number is not how much it costs you to do it. It's how much does it cost you not to do it.
Right. And it's the quality. It's making sure the right scaled furniture is in there. It's making sure the right type of furniture is in there and not just somebody throwing stuff in just because.
Great information. Again, if you want to meet Kathleen, give me a call, 800-306-1990. I know where to find her. And you know where to find me every day because I ask you every day, set that first radio preset button to come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to John and Sean who are engineering us today. And of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.
And I can't be saved.